Hey, what's up, everybody? How about that Triple Crown madness? It was crazy. I got some thoughts on it. I got some thoughts on the 250s. But first, hey, thank you to EBC Brakes. Go support those guys. They kick ass. Complete Racing Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. He's got a program for everybody. They start at $30 and go up from there. Steel City Men's Clinic. These guys are amazing. They've got me in some supplements that it's got me back to myself again. They really helped me with supplements to help recover from my knee replacement surgery. They're awesome. Hit up Steel City Men's Clinic if you need some supplements or want to get your blood work or you're dragging ass. Just, yeah, they'll get you squared away. And don't forget, Epic Garage Designs. Check out the studio, cabinets, racks, floors, you name it. We got everything here. So the racks are doing really good. We're selling the crap load of the floors that go with the motorcycles. So go online, order those. We'll have them to you within a few days. So, yeah. All right, guys, let's get into this bad boy.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
You all know exactly who I am.
Wow, what a series, guys. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe that Tomac, Sexton, and Webb are doing battle like this. If you wrote this in a movie and said these three guys are doing this and Sexton's having his issues and Tomac keeps crashing on tabletops, you'd be like, nah, that just wouldn't happen. And then to see the way they're acting, like if you showed Chase Sexton's body language from last week in the press conference and you said to an actor, hey, how does that look? Does that look frustrated? They'd probably say, tone it down. You look like you're overacting. But it's actually real. Real is stranger than fiction sometimes. And man, I'll tell you what, I think Cooper Webb has got these guys. He's in their heads. Cooper loves these tight psychological battles where you just almost like a war of attrition. He feeds off of it. Sexton, on the other hand, is he's kind of struggling in this. I think if I was in Sexton's corner, I would tell Chase Sexton, lower expectations. Don't go in there trying to win. Don't try and win by a second. I would go in there and I would just tell him, let's do performance goals. Let's not do expectation goals. Don't say I'm going to win. Let's judge this off of your performance. Go out there, ride your own race, ride your own deal, and where the chips fall is where the chips fall, and I think he'll smash everybody. I mean, that's how you get rid of performance anxiety is you drop expectations. Expectations create, like, anxiety, and, like, so for somebody like Cooper Webb, I think that's fine, but everyone's a little bit different, and I think Chase Sexton is more, dare I say, like Jason Anderson with the expectations. Anderson, on the other hand, dude, this guy is the ultimate self-sabotager. This is a guy who I don't think he's doing it on purpose. Like, he would never do that. But he self-sabotages to lower expectations on accident. This is where a sports psychologist might really help him, although it's getting pretty late in his career, and it's harder to change these things the later you get into your career. But, I mean, clearly he has the talent. I mean, he won the second race. Like, he is right there with these guys, but it's either a fall, a Barsha incident. There's always something, but it's only in the years when he comes in as champion, or like if you notice, the more expectations, the worse Anderson does. When you pull the expectations and we just don't think about him, like last year, I think everyone kind of almost wrote him off a little bit going to Kawasaki. We had no expectations, and he came out and kicked ass. This year, after he did so good last year, we had expectations, and I think that anxiety really plays with him a little bit. And like I said, it affects guys differently. And Tomac, it was weird to see him make a mistake because he's been so rock solid lately, other than just having kind of an off night in Tampa, which an off night to get fifth place is not that bad, especially among this field of guys where they're only separated by a few tenths of a second, much like road racing. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly what we got going on, but if I'm Eli Tomac, I just pretend tabletops are regular jumps, and if I'm Chase Sexton, just worry about how you're riding. Don't worry about anybody else on the track, just him versus the track. That's it. No longer think about winning, no longer think about losing, just race the track, period. You almost go back to what you tell a kid, hey, don't worry about your competition, worry about you, and that's it. And if you win, you win, if you don't, you don't. That's how you squash the weird feelings and how you get away from it. And that's what I would do. Now to the 250s. Holy crap, we had some fun stuff here. I really, really enjoy this Hunter Lawrence versus Nate Thrasher rivalry, and this is a straight up rivalry. And this goes back to last year at the shootout when Hunter and Thrasher were battling for the win in Utah. Thrasher, he cracks me up. His body language in the press conference, This dude reminds me of Mike Kudrowski. If you guys remember Mike Kudrowski, he was such a nice guy. Off the track, one of the most polite guys, cool dudes you'll ever talk to. On the track, he hated his opponents. Like he's the type of guy that some athletes do this. Like if they're struggling in the gym and there's a day they want to take a day off, they look at the poster of their enemy, and they say, oh, and they almost blame their enemy for the pain they go through getting ready. And I think that's what Thrasher does. I feel like Thrasher, if you ever want to motivate him, just tell him at the end of a day when he's tired and they're getting ready to call it, you wouldn't say, hey, can you do one more? Everyone's doing it. You say, hey, I bet Hunter Lawrence would do one more, and that's all that kid takes. Like, you can see every time Hunter's around him, and he's flirting with that dirty line. He's not dirty necessarily. He is aggressive. He wants to let Hunter know he's not afraid of him at all. He straight up just comes in there and hits him whenever he's there. And I don't think he's trying to put him on the ground, but I don't think he cares if he does. Whereas if it's like Jordan Smith, he's trying to ride him a little bit cleaner. He'll take the line, but he definitely doesn't want to put him on the ground. Where Hunter, doesn't care. And it's not to the point where it's dirty. He's going right up to that line. And then when you go right up that line, occasionally you go over it. So I think what he was doing, he did make a mistake. And I watched his body language, and I've seen a couple separate interviews where he talks about what happened with him and Hunter over the tunnel bridge. So I think he was genuinely trying to squeeze. And that's a game of like chicken that racers play. It's like, okay, I don't want to go all the way over. I'm going to leave you some track, but I'm only going to leave you that much. And then he made a mistake and went way too far over. But a lot of times you'll dare somebody to take a line, and if they take it, they can take your line, but if they don't, they lose momentum. And that's kind of like you move over just a little bit and force them to say, do you want to go that far? If you want to go that far, we have an issue. Guys talk about the defensive line, and that's a defensive line. You're not taking the ideal flow around the corner. You start chopping them just a little bit. So if somebody wants to pass you, they got to go way underneath. And then both of you guys lose time, but you're jockeying for position at that point. So, and then Haiden Deegan. It was so funny. I can't tell you how many people hit me up after that the first main event where he had a horrible one. Like, oh, you're right, he wasn't ready. I couldn't disagree more. I was wrong. The information I looked at was when he was an amateur, and the way he came out and just acted like kind of like a psychopath at A2, where he was trying to just smash everybody every time. I didn't think he had the mental maturity to do exactly what he's doing. I figured if he came out and got beat, he'd lose his mind and just go bananas until he won or crashed. Nope. He had a bad race, got 15th in that first one. It happens, especially in a Triple Crown. I mean, there's 3 races, a lot can happen. He's a rookie, especially rookies. Typically, you see these guys have one good one, one bad one, and one average one. But after that, he got it together, got up there, battled with the top guys for a little bit, but settled down and got some solid finishes. And that's a poise. That's what I'm looking for in my rookies. I want to see them bounce back from adversity and not have it come unraveled. And good for Haiden Deegan. I think actually going pro prevented him, expectations, that's like the theme of this podcast, or this episode. His expectations as an amateur were to go out, and if he didn't win by a significant margin, it was almost a failure. So there was so much pressure and expectations. I think that's what caused him to look the way he did at Anaheim too. Whereas going pro actually lowered the expectations and let him get back to riding and learning and just being a racer again. And hey, good on him. You know what? Like I said, I was wrong. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but I'll keep saying that because there's a TikTok with my voice on it, and it's pretty funny. It says like he wasn't ready, and then shows him riding good and railing that berm, but it's pretty funny. I dig it. Like I say, I put myself out there, and sometimes you're wrong. And when you make race predictions, like I can't see the future. As Chris Berman in football says, that's why they play the games. That's why they have the races. We take the information we have and we learn from it. And does my opinion change? Absolutely. As soon as I get new information, I've got new information about Haiden Deegan. My new information tells me this kid's going to be a good pro. I'm still not ready to put him in the Hall of Fame, but he's going to have a good career. So anyway, guys, thanks. Also, don't forget, subscribe. I really appreciate it when you guys subscribe. I hate having to remind everybody. Yes, I hate it just as bad as you guys do, but if I don't say it, the subs don't go up, and it helps the algorithm. YouTube says, oh, people are subscribing, so let's push this one out. So anyway, guys, thank you for everything. Cooksey Mob rules.